Welcome to Running Your Stories. I'm here today with Sinead Gav, who's been on before, and also with Gav, whose surname will come back to me in a moment. Sinead and Gav are taking on a fantastic challenge, which I think is quite insane, and I've done a few daft things. They're looking at running 30 miles a day for the first week of February, and in doing so, they're hoping to raise £5,000 for Andy's Man Club. So let's have a chat with Sinead and Gav, see if they know what they've got themselves into, and see what they've got to say about it. Welcome, Sinead and Gav.
Thank you very much. Right. Gav, do you want to start?
Yeah, well, for me, it stems with mental health side of it. It stems quite a way back. When I retired from professional fighting, I went downhill really, really quick. And living so long, you know, at your absolute peak, always training real hard, always fighting, and then suddenly having nothing, none of that, I absolutely dived and I started suffering from depression, you know, gaining weight. I got nasty. And it wasn't until I found running, really, because I used to run a little bit with my training, but only short distance. Once I found running, that I sort of found a new outlet for me, so to speak. But like with everybody else, I did nothing about it. I didn't speak to anybody. I was just quiet, withdrawn, you know, like a lot of men when they have a problem. So obviously, this last 12 months, especially, it's been particularly horrible for everybody, for a lot of people, but particularly, again, it's been highlighted with the male side of mental health, that there's still that stigmatism that they can't talk, you know, that they have to be strong, they have to be a leader of family, or you know, whatever people's view is on it. And I think the statistic is now 12 male in the UK every day now are committing suicide, just because they're not talking, they're not reaching out. So that's why we've decided Andy's Man Club, you know, what they do is, you know, it's just phenomenal. They literally are saving lives, and all they're doing is talking. That is it. You know, there's no magic formula to it. It's just displaying that myth that, you know, men have to be strong. You know, everyone suffers from mental health problems, obviously, male, female, you know, children, it doesn't matter. But really, women tend to be quite a lot stronger, and you know, they talk. They'll, you know, talk with their friends, they'll talk with family, they'll seek help. Generally speaking, they do more so than men. Men still, it's that taboo that they can't. They're seen as being weak, or, you know, pathetic, or you know, all kinds of horrible things, really. But, you know, sometimes they're just not wired up right, are they? There's something wrong. And obviously, Andy's Man Club are there to help them. So, off the back of the 100-miler, when we raised money for Home Valley Mountain Rescue, I come to Sinead and said, I've got another idea. Obviously, as soon as I come up with an idea, she weirdly agreed to do it. Very weirdly agreed to do it with me. But then we decided that we wanted to do it for the mental health charity, and picked Andy's Man Club, particularly because it's a local one. I like, you know, personally, for me, I like supporting local causes like the Home Valley Mountain Rescue. You know, something that's nearer to home, something that's actually there for you if you ever need them. So that's why we picked Andy's Man Club. But then obviously that leads you to the point that to raise a good amount of money, you need to do something that stands out. And so 30 miles a day, 7 times, stands out.
And we're not allowed to drive it either.
No, we can't. So that's the idea.
Yeah, well, that's it's brilliant to hear you speak about it, Gav. A few times on this podcast, I've had guests on, and we've talked about mental health, and I'm a big advocate of doing whatever small bit I can do to help people speak out, ask for help, and as you say, to to slowly over time remove that stigma and that taboo, that thing that makes people think, well, I better not say anything because somebody might think less of me. And it's a difficult thing for people to deal with, because that is a big part of our society, and we're actually trying to change society every time we're trying to influence people with these things. A very positive change, and certainly worth the effort. So it's, yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'll very happily support, which is why there was not the slightest hesitation when you guys asked about doing a podcast, and we'll do our best to put the word out there. I think it's really great to be raising money for Andy's Man Club. As you say, it's a charity that works locally. It's a charity that I've certainly looked at before. So yeah, it's really fantastic. So before we go into some of the details about the challenge, and I've got a bunch of questions for you both about whether you really know what you've gotten yourselves into, because I do think this is a really tough challenge. I think we should just ask Sinead exactly why you're so on board with this, other than, you know, just maybe having some time on your hands. And
you know, weirdly, I don't have any time on my hands. I'm working full time, thankfully. I'm quite fortunate, but we decided to do this in September. We've talked about doing a challenge for a while. Everything that we were picking up, like all our races from last year, were just setback. And I found myself even going into a bit of a sort of, getting into a bit of a rut with things myself. So anything that drew back focus to allow me to train again was a good thing. But we, as part of our club, having awareness of marathon races, we've had a lot of people come to us with mental health issues, myself included. I suffer quite badly with anxiety, and that's, you know, I think it's a really important message. We've got so many people now in our club who have found each other to talk to find, you know, through running, just going out for runs one-on-one. Gav, I'm sure you'll agree, there's a really good network of people that you can always talk to in the club. And I think it's great that we've got that. I mean, that's amazing. And the correlation between exercise shouldn't be dismissed either. There's such an amazing correlation between mental health, positivity, with exercise, and with the people that you surround yourself with. So I think that was really important that myself, and because, you know, me and Gav go on long runs together all the time and talk about, you know, mental health episodes that we've had, and just, we kind of laugh it off. There's an underlying current of struggle there, but it's always with a mate, and you know what they've been through. And I think it's, in order to support something like that, is quite important. So, you know, any stupid challenge to do that, why not?
No, it's I think it's important, actually. I'll just add in from what you have both said about sort of admitting to your own struggles and things as well. And I've talked about my struggles with anxiety on the podcast before. That's something I've been living with all my life. I'm very lucky that I very rarely suffer from depression. I'm not quite sure why, but I've always suffered with anxiety. And it is actually through running that I've found some of the best ways of coping with that, and finding the right way to live with it. Because the mistake I was making in the past was always trying to fight it. And it's not an easy demon to fight, because you can think you're winning, and then the next day you've lost the battle again on a temporary basis. So as you say, through running and through the sort of trail running, fell running community, getting out there on long runs together, you get chatting about these things, and you learn about each other's struggles, and that really supports each other just by talking about it, which again is when we come back to Andy's Man Club and the fantastic message that they put out there and the work they do to get men talking to each other about mental health. And of course, their hashtag, it's okay to talk. That's kind of exactly the message. So let's get into the challenge a little bit then, because I think, I know for a fact the three of us have run 30 miles or more many times. I'm pretty sure that each of us have probably run back-to-back 30-mile days. Once or twice where it's been 2 days in a row of running 30 plus miles. But to do 30 miles a day, which is more than a marathon, for 7 days in a row, that is, it's really not to be underestimated how tough a challenge that is. And I presume, am I right in presuming you're both still going to be working during that week? Or are you taking the week off completely?
Taking the week off. It's too much to work as well.
I was going to say, because it's, yeah.
Do it in an evening.
Are you working, Gav?
No, I've got a week off for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because, I mean, so something like the spine race that I was training for, that's 268 miles, and the cut-off time on that is a week. And, that's for most, the sort of volume of people that take part in something like that, it's a lifetime achievement completing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's mad people that go back each year and try and do it faster and whatever else, but that's a very, very small number of people, really. So
yourself included there.
So I know how hard it is getting past, once you pass the 100-mile mark, how difficult things get. So
the only thing we've got all is the fact that we're going to be running 30 miles each day, and then we're going to be stopping, so we get to refuel, we get to do everything like that, but we no Ian's coming with my tea. Sorry, Ian. That we get to stop essentially, and have that refuel, have that rest period, but then you've got to go and do it again the next day. So if you've had a bad day mentally, I think that's going to be the toughest thing, to get back out there the next day and have another day like that.
So do you have some strategies planned for your recovery once you finish your 30 miles?
I've got quite a few. Have you got any, Gav?
Food and nutrition for me is going to be a big part this time, and I'm pretty certain I've got it sorted. That's usually my arrogance is fueling big time. Mm-hmm. I usually think, I could go and run 30 miles on very, very low water and very, very low food. I could do it. I know that. I could possibly do it for 2 days. I've done it before. But like you say, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, it just isn't going to wash. So I'm not so much worried about my body itself as in the muscles, pulls and strains and that side of it. I'm more bothered about recovering properly, making sure I've got enough calories in me. That's my biggest fear. Because last 2 days I've gone out running. Even the last 2 days I've gotten halfway through my run and just felt horrible, felt ill, because I've just not been eating right. Nothing, That's a 10K. So what's going to happen next week? So
both had elements of that actually in the past week, haven't we? I think we've really underestimated what we're eating during our training, because we've both gone, oh God, I feel crap today. Really struggling. I'm struggling with sleep at the moment. I don't know whether that's because I'm worrying about it or just thinking about it. But yeah, I think that's my worry, that I'm not going to recover enough But from my point of view, my recovery, we've got a walk bike here, so I'm going to be on that for 15 minutes when we finish every day, just to spin the legs over with low impact, get on the foam roller, and then ice the legs, get some compression tights on, and just sit on my backside and eat food until I go to sleep. I think is probably going to be, that's all you can do, really, isn't it? You need as much rest and recuperation.
So
for me, when I used to train with Thai boxing, when I'd be getting near to a fight and training were 3 hours a day every day, I used to have red hot baths with a kilo of Epsom salt in them, and go into the bath sore, and you literally will come out all right. It's literally one of the most amazing things you'll ever experience. Just some bag of salt. So I'll be doing that just about every day. I'll be having that, and I'll probably go out walking on an evening as well, because I found while I'm doing virtual spine, I've been going out for a long run, 20-30 k, and then if I go out again later that day, you just kind of run out the aches. And so it won't be as doing a 50k. I'm not going to go out for another run. I'll certainly go out walking on an evening, or even in the morning before we go first thing with dog or whatever. I think that will sort of help, shall we say. But I'm just stubborn enough just to endure it and tolerate it.
Yeah, whereas I'll probably get a bit mardy, so Gav's going to have to deal with that. Don't want to do this. Why have you made me do this? I'll happen around about Thursday. So just
a question that people might be able to relate to. How many calories does it take to run 30 miles?
Oof. Different sizes, different genders. I'm looking about 5,000 to 6,000. I
was going to say about 5,000.
Is this
on top of your on top of your what is it about 2,800 3,000 a day as well?
Yeah,
well, it's about 1,800 for a man. You're sort of ticking over.
Yeah.
So you're both being
calories.
Yeah, to be not significantly cutting into body fat and losing muscle, you're going to need to be consuming more than 6,000 calories a day each.
That's the bit I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
No, see that it's the opposite way for me, because I say that's the fueling side. I'm a bugger for really losing my appetite when I'm out for a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel sick.
And I just don't. You don't want to eat while you feel fine, and then as you know, Kev, you get to that point of no return. Then when it doesn't matter how much food you've shoved down yourself, if you let it go too far, that's it.
Well, that's right. I mean, as I understand it, I'm no expert, but I've had my big share of stomach issues and things doing races and things, and what starts to happen first actually is dehydration. As you start to get dehydrated, your body, because you're running, it pulls the blood away from your stomach, and then your stomach works less well. So even if you have put food in at that stage, it gets much slower to turn into energy in your body. And then the less your body can kind of sense that your stomach isn't delivering the energy you need. So it starts to shut it down further, because, well, if it's not doing anything, you need the blood in your legs. And then when you try to start it up again, then your blood's shifting around and you've got issues. So what I've been working on for myself over the past probably about 12 months, where I've been kind of focused on this, is exactly what you were just mentioning there, Gav, about eating early, much earlier than I think I need to keep the stomach ticking over, and also to try and make sure I stay hydrated, because it can be quite a bad spiral when things start to go. That it's hard to catch it and get it back again. So that's the advice I would give, is eat and drink early and often.
I think myself and Gavin will probably see each other maybe twice this week. We're going for a run tomorrow night to talk about a few more logistics. So I think I've always run when I've run with other people in a race or things like that, and we've decided to run together, there's always been someone who's kept an eye on, right, every 20 minutes drink, and actually it nicely passes the time, that. So every 40 minutes have some food, that kind of thing. If someone's keeping an eye on that as well, it takes the responsibility off you for doing it. And if someone's telling you you've got to do it, and then you take that in turns. And I found that that's quite a good method of making sure you do regularly eat, you do regularly drink, and even if you don't want to, make sure you're doing it. But we're going to have 7 days of 6 hours a day of talking to each other, so I'm going to have to fill in the time somehow. How we go?
I've saved some stories.
You, sorry?
I've saved some stories.
Oh, have you? Oh, good. I'm going to have to make some up then.
Yeah, I think when you get 3 or 4 days in, your 6 hours a day might extend a bit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Fully expect it to.
Yeah. So when you get into 17 and 18-hour days.
When I went out last Sunday with James Avison, and we did an out and back on Pennine Way, and we did 48k, and we were about just over 5 hour. And with that moment, I kind of thought there's absolutely no way we're going to be hitting 6 hours a day to maintain the fact that we complete 50k every day. And I think it'll be reckless to have the notion that we want it finished in 6 hours. I think on the day it takes what it takes, and if we have to, it is what it is. The important thing is we start the day and we finish the day. And time. I think time frames need to go out the window. If you do it, don't you? If you have one of your days slightly easier, then it might well happen. But if weather turns and you're on mowers, it's just you're just not running 8-9 minute miles, are you?
Yeah, that's the other thing I was just going to ask you to highlight as well. There actually is that I understand you're planning on doing this by running on trails through the moors, up and down the hills. Not road running on a flat surface here either.
No, I don't.
Where we both live, I mean, we live within 4 miles. You're sorry, have I cut in?
No, you're right.
We live within about 3 or 4 miles of each other, and it's in the Colne Valley. So literally, we're properly in a valley. Everywhere is up and out. So we haven't really got a choice within the current restrictions. We have to do this. I mean, originally when we first talked about it, we were going to go to Lady Bow, which is a nice 2 lap. So that isn't too overtaxing. We did it last September. Then we looked at the Transpennine Trail, which I know is boring. So we are going to use some days that we'll use the canals, but again, we're going to have to put in the elevation to get different routes. And we know the moors very well now. We luckily know someone on the mountain rescue team. So we should be okay. But it's the grade adjusted pace that is really difficult for people to comprehend. Like if you going out and doing a marathon and you do a 4-hour marathon, if you take that same thing into the hills, you're doing a 6.5-hour marathon. It's that the grade adjusted pace, the terrain, it's the weather conditions obviously change dramatically. I think that's part of the challenge as well. Which I prefer to do it that way rather than on flat roads, to be honest.
It serves as a double-edged sword. Like you said, the hills, the mud, the bogs, it's hard work. It can be very labor intensive, especially if the weather's bad. But I'd sooner do an 8-odd-hour one out there than a fast one on flat tarmac. Personally, I cannot think of anything more boring than smashing out long distance on road, or somewhere flat. Even I think if we started doing somewhere flat, I think we'd
both for a hill.
I think also it sort of lures us into a false sense of security because we're so used to ups and downs, and bogs. I think if we were running somewhere flat and somewhere very well manicured, like we'd just run too fast. I really do. I think we'd run
too fast, but also the biomechanics that we're used to now our bodies are used to going up the hill. I mean, Kev, you'll find this yourself. You spend so many hours in the hills. If you decide to run 20 miles on flat terrain, your biomechanics are not used to that. Your muscles are not used to that. So it's that sort of element of you come up with more injuries, more muscle soreness the next day. The cadence would increase, the impact would increase.
I think the first thing I find when I get the rare long stretch that I can run continuously for is if I get to 30 minutes, 40 minutes where I haven't hit a hill that significantly slows me down, it just feels wrong. It's just so used to every half hour to an hour hitting a big hill and having to either walk or slow right down. And when you don't have that, it feels alien when you're used to it all the time. So
yeah,
I definitely get where you're coming from. But again, it increases the challenge of what you're doing. It'll be really interesting to see what your total elevation is over the week.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Well, yeah, it will. Because round here, like Sinead says, like I've got 13. What have I got? I've got 20k left on virtual spine. Obviously, what I've been doing this month, I've already exceeded the elevation of the spine.
Yeah, you can't help
and that's just from tootling round here all the time. So I mean, it is. Yeah, there'll be some elevation. I got 10,000 foot, didn't I? Just on canal when I did 100 mile.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Even canal's hilly.
Yeah. coming back up from town. I mean, you're coming up what 400, 500 feet. So it's it's elevation over 6 miles. So we're just stuck. Really, we're going to have to do it. But the good thing about, and I don't mean this in any, because I think the struggle is that we're not going to be able to run with other people, which we always envisaged that would be something that we could do during this week. Some people could come join us. The last day we could do something like we did for a challenge we did a couple of years ago, where people join us all the way down. But it also means that we don't have time. We're just relying on each other to time keep. So I don't know about you two, but if you're ever in a race or doing something and you feel like people are supporting you, I'm always clock watching and going, oh God, they'll be there by now and I'm not there. Or, it puts a little bit of pressure, whether you know it or not, on the day. So I think it's quite nice that we don't have that, but I think we're going to also find it a struggle that it's just me and you, with no other checkpoints, with no other, that sort of, even if it's just someone going, well done, here's a granola bar, I think that's a massive difference. I think we'll find that quite difficult as the week goes on.
Yeah, I hope you both remain friends as the week goes on.
I can't imagine it's falling out. Can you?
No. Well, look, at the end of the day, there aren't many people I'd have wanted to do this with. Yeah. I want to put this on Facebook just for an open invitation. Honestly, this one. There's someone that that you don't mind spending a lot of time with.
Yeah, I'd say, it's to be honest, I think we know each other well enough now to sort of just ignore each other if one of us is in. I mean, yourselves, you go through bad places sometimes, don't you? You've got to just work through it, feeling a bit sick, feeling a bit drained, feeling a bit tired. You just want to get your head down, crack on, and that's a good thing about running with someone who knows that. You can just sort of take a step back. You can tell each other to piss off. You can and just say, I'm hungry, I'm struggling. And it's just, I think having that understanding of each other's is quite a good thing. I think we're running enough together to know that as well. So
yeah, no, I think it's a good plan for you that you are running together and able to do it, because completely solo is another kind of level altogether. So it's definitely right what you're saying about it's more difficult without support and more people and changes of people coming along and things like that. But yeah, having the two of you there to support each other, being in the challenge together, I think it'll be really interesting to see how things progress through the week. And
we'll be documenting everything. We're going to have a video each day of what we've done, the progress, warts and all. Like, as soon as I start arguing, camera's going on. Because I think people need to realise it's not all fun and games. It's gonna be a hard challenge, and we want to correlate the mental health aspect as well. We struggle with mental health issues, and we're out doing something like this, which is a really, really mental challenge. We want people to see the down bits. We want people to see when we're elated and when we're loving it. We want people to see all that, so they get that sort of understanding of where we're coming from with this and why we've chosen to focus on mental health for this challenge.
I think it's been one of the odder things about this is I don't think generally the public are grasping fully what we're doing. When I did the 100 miler, everyone was just utterly flabbergasted. People who aren't from like the ultra running world or the marathon running world, they just couldn't believe what were happening on Canal that day. Generally, could they? They were blown away.
It was really good.
What they got to remember is I essentially just struck while the iron was hot. I did not stop. Fatigue didn't really kick in until 88 miles. And by that point, I was happy to walk the last 12. I had support all day. This time, we're going out every day, even if we don't want to. We're going to allow our bodies to get sore, when we finish every day and we start walking like John Wayne. We're going to go to bed. We're going to wake up even worse. And we have to go again every day, 50K or 30 miles every day with massive elevation. And, it's a big undertaking. It's not just starting and carrying on until you stop.
Where's the
stop? It's that cycle. I think the hardest bit about it will be waking up in the morning knowing you have to go again. I think once like most days, once you get a few miles in, it'll sort of come to, you'll loosen up a bit, you'll start to feel your way into it. But I think waking up every single morning knowing, usually you get quite excited to do a long day, don't you? Mm. Long day after long day after long day. I think it's a big undertaking.
And but one of the I had the pleasure of speaking to Sabrina after her Wainwrights when I was doing an interview with her, and one thing that always stuck with me is because obviously yourself, Kev, you do these big long 3-4 day challenges where there's very little sleep. You're into sleep deprivation. I mean, we're not going down that route. It's a slightly different challenge for us. But one thing that stuck with me that she said is, I'm not working. I'm in the hills with people that make me laugh. What's to be unhappy about? What's to be, and I think if you look at it like that, we're going to be doing something we actually enjoy on a regular basis for a full week without working. You've just got to take the positives and just hope the weather's all right, not too brutal. But
yeah, I think that's exactly right. And as you know, I was out with Sabs on a Pennine Way FKT, and the thing that I really admired there was when things went wrong, because it is a when, not an if. Everything that came up was dealt with very quickly and then was forgotten about. And I'm interested in my next conversation with Sabs to find out whether she actually remembers some of the things that went wrong, because she dismisses them so clearly, like they are completely gone, and just back to enjoying it and focusing on what's next. And I think that's an important thing to do, because things will happen during the week. What one of you might forget to charge your watch or some, just things like that. And you think, well, why have you not done that? And so you said you're going to do this, and you've just got to let these things go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. It takes practice. And then, as you say, once you can let those problems and things go, then you can just really focus on that. Yeah, in the hills with a friend, having fun, not at work, not getting stressed. You haven't got 7 puppies to feed.
Yeah, that's true. Luckily, you've taken one of them.
Yeah. So I just there is one other thing, of course, to mention about the difficulty of this challenge, and that's chafing.
I'm always okay with that.
I'm not.
Good luck with that after 7 days.
Sorry, I'll say I'm currently missing quite a bit of skin on the inside of my leg, and I'm petrified from chafing. It's a problem of mine.
Yeah,
big problem.
So yeah, make sure you deal with that right from the start.
Although I have got a smiley face on my back now from chafing in when I was running in the Alps 2 or 3 years ago. And it's like a perfect little square with a line. Every time I get a suntan on my back, you can just slightly see it. That's the time. But you really suffer with it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, my inside of my top of my torso under my armpits, it's scarred now. From pretty much whenever we do a 50k, I'll take a layer of skin off. It just.
Yeah.
But again, hey, whatever.
Crack on.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff you can put on.
All right, till you get it back.
Yeah.
Will you Epsom salts?
Yeah.
Where are you from up here?
Yeah, I had a little surprise when I got into the shower after my little jaunt on Saturday. I knew I'd slipped on the ice and landed on my arse, and my glute is bruised. I knew that. What I didn't know was I'd also grazed it. When I stepped into the shower, I suddenly found out that I had a graze there as well.
It's never wet now, is it?
Yeah. Look, there's lots of things to look forward to.
Can't wait.
Right. So yeah, I guess let's bring it back around to the why, the reason behind it, because that's what it's all about, and I'm sure that's what's going to be helping you both continue to move forward when the going gets really tough, which it will. So men's mental health, as you say, there's a lot of people struggling with the whole present situation, struggling more than before, and unfortunately that results in a number of them taking their own lives. And to have charities like Andy's Man Club who can help out is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, let's ask everybody to support, donate if you can, share the message as well to other people, and I know I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're getting on. So you must have some outlets lined up as well as running your stories to share this. How are people going to be able to follow your progress through the week?
So we are videoing things. We've got a YouTube channel that we'll post in. So the main protocol will be the Facebook page. So it's 30 per day. So facebook.com/30 per day. We're also going to be posting to our individual Instagram accounts. There'll be a video every day of our progress. We've also got various media outlets that have approached us and want to do interviews, etc. So there'll be obviously, hopefully, higher profile things going there. And then just giving information, and the donation information is on the Facebook page as well. But we also want to say, and I'm sure Gav will agree, we've had an overwhelming support from local businesses and people already donating. TOG24 have provided us with our kit. Huddersfield Screen Printing are doing the printing, all the printing of the logos, etc. for us. We've got MSA, Everybody Personal Training, Plan Eat, mixed up. I'm going to forget a few here. Colne Valley Podiatry, Chapman Construction. Gav, help me out. There's loads.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think who else there was.
Colne
Valley Self-Storage.
Yeah, Colne Valley Self-Storage. We've just had
Colne Valley CrossFit, was there?
No, they're doing they're doing their own. They have donated. They have donated to us, just phenomenal. We're already over £1,000 and rising quickly. So, and we've not even started yet. So, yeah, thanks to everyone who's. Oh, and Voom Nutrition as well has sent us a load of lovely goodies to try.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
well, yeah. As Voom are already helping you out and have sent you goodies, I would say that is my food of choice, especially if my stomach starts to go.
I've tried it before when my stomach was a bit nauseous.
Yeah, it is one of the things that I can always eat, and it gets my stomach going again. I like the green bars for that.
That's what the ones we've been sent.
Yeah, they're particularly good. So yeah, I'll ask you to send me the full list afterwards, and I'll put it out with this as well.
Yeah, thank you. Just in case we have missed anyone, we're sorry if we have. It's just been brilliant, so thank you.
Yeah. Right. Well, unless there's anything else, I think we'll be saying very best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to seeing a change of outfit every day for the 7 days. We're expecting different beard decorations from Gav.
I was going to say.
It's just different, very varying levels of snot and
yeah. But I'm sure there'll be some great laughs along the way as well. It's all for a serious cause, but as we know, it's important to
just on the last point. Do you know what we're doing on the last day?
No.
So we're running from Marsden to Stanage Tunnel on Manchester Road and back 6 times. Just for fun. It was somewhere in Marsden. It's a fairly gradual climb. Just so anyone watching this, it's about a 600-foot climb over 3 miles, and then it's 3 miles back down. But it means we're close to amenities, as in people can actually be on the road and supporting us in a very safe way should they choose to. We're not going to encourage it. But it's a very well used road, so if people are just going past, then they can say hello. Hopefully raise a bit of awareness that way.
Fantastic.
So if you can meet us at the top with some form of a Home Valley Mountain Rescue ambulance, that'd be amazing.
Well, as you know, if you need mountain rescue, you dial 999 and ask for the police. They'll come along and find any COVID violators first, and then mountain rescue will come and help you.
No, we'll just have a direct line, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Yeah, really looking forward to watching your progress. Anything else to add?
Not from me.
Yeah, I will. The mental health side, I think it's also very, very important to highlight that it's everybody. You know what I mean? It's not somebody who's not got a job, stuck living at home or whatever. It can be someone who's got a big house, kids, a load of money in the bank. Someone successful, and they could suffer really, really bad. I think it's important that people also understand that. It's another one. Be right. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? You've got everything. It doesn't work like that, does it?
No.
I've never gone without in my adult life, but it was my adult life when I started suffering. I'm sure Kev, you'll be able to echo that.
Yep.
It's very, very important that it doesn't discriminate. It can take anybody from any background, ethnic background, anything. Everyone can suffer.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, I think it's a really good and important message, that, Gav. The people that I've known just over the past few years that have unfortunately taken their lives, whether I've known them directly or indirectly, and therefore knowing more of the backstory, as you say, none of those people would I have thought for a moment was any kind of loser, or none of those people are kind of looked at and thought, oh yeah, they've clearly got something wrong with them. It was just everyone's just normal people, and mental health is completely just, it doesn't discriminate. It can get anybody at any time. So yeah, I think it's an important message, because it's also that when you are feeling it yourself and think that you might need some help, that's the time to get the help as early as possible. And I think maybe another thing to mention is getting help isn't like this. It's not like going for surgery. It's not like you one day ask for help and then somebody's going to come and amputate your arm or something. Getting help is just reaching out and saying, can I just have a chat about things? And you have a chat and you suddenly think, oh, actually, that thing that was building up and becoming a real problem. Sometimes, not always, it's not always that easy, but sometimes that just lifts it and just gives you that little bit of clarity that helps you to make the next step and deal with it. And yeah, sometimes you need professional help and you need some medication as well to help you take that next step and just allow you to be enough of yourself to put other things in order. And that's where the professionals and the medicines that are available today come into things. And they're there because people need them. So if you need them, use them. It's yeah.
Absolutely. And not I know we're highlighting a lot of male mental health here, but there's a lot of other worthy charities out there that do some amazing work that help with mental health. I saw Abby Dag put something up earlier with a lot of links to other mental health charities. So maybe if we can do that after this podcast as well. So obviously we want to draw attention to Andy's Man Club, but there is other to go down. It's important to find the right works for you.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. As you say, there's a lot of avenues there that you can go down, and it's always your choice. Go with whatever you feel most comfortable with to help you to the next step, and just taking a step to get some help or some support. It's very worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually something again, I'm not a professional. I've done some mental health first aid training and things like that, but something I've always wanted to say to anybody who's struggling in any way is, we all want you to be here, no matter who you are, no matter what you think you've done or how you're feeling. Never for a moment doubt that all of us want you around and want you to be there, and all of us would like to help. We're not always there, but the very vast majority of everybody on this planet wants to help everybody else. So that's, I don't know, I think it's worth saying.
No, it's good. I agree.
So yep. So yeah, I think the two hashtags that always stick with me is it's okay to talk, and there's I think there's one, it's good to talk, and it's okay not to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's nothing wrong with not being okay. We all feel a bit shit sometimes. As long as it stays at sometimes, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Anything else, Gav? Because you've had some blinding input so far. So.
No, you're right. You know, you might not have enough time left at night if I keep going. So
Can you save it for next week so we've got something to talk about, please?
we won't have us back on when we've done it. Yeah, see what we have to say then.
I can't wait.
Black eyes and talking to each other.
Yeah.
Will you tell him that I don't know? No.
Yeah, well, we'll do 2 separate podcasts after you're finished.
Yeah.
Find out what you each think about each other. Then play parts of them back and get the extra takes.
Yeah, that could be funny.
Right. Well, thanks very much for asking me to do this, to record this with you. Because I guess a small example of things with the COVID lockdowns and everything else is I've done very few podcasts. I've recorded very few. Partly it's because there's been less races and things happening, so there's a little bit less to talk about. But it's also just because I've not been in the frame of mind to put myself out there asking people to do podcasts. When you suffer from anxiety, actually putting yourself out there and asking people, would you be interested in doing a podcast, is actually quite a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the hardest part of doing the podcast. And I know that I've been anxious and a bit worried and a bit stressed, and it's because of the whole COVID situation. And that's the reason why there's been less episodes of the podcast coming out. Because actually I know enough people that have been doing enough interest in running things to have been doing at least one a week, if not more. But yeah, so it's worth mentioning, because I know a number of people that listen to this podcast think that I'm out there crushing it in the hills every day and everything's all perfect and everything else. But as Gav says, mental health issues, whether it's kind of a minor thing just stopping you doing a bit of an extra hobby, or whether it's something really affecting your life, it does affect us all. So,
absolutely.
Yep. Right. Thanks a lot. Let's end it there. Otherwise, we will all talk all night. And I can't wait till we can all go out on the trails together.
I know.
That's the day we're all looking forward to.
Isn't it,
We'll have a massive group run and a beer afterwards. Yeah.
Great.
Right. Thanks.
Right. Cheers.
Thank you.
That was Sinead Batterby and Gav Pittman, I did remember his surname this time, who are doing 30 miles a day for the first 7 days of February, raising money for Andy's Man Club. We'll have lots of other links and information I'll put in the show notes, both on the podcast and on the YouTube video. So please check them out. Please support if you can with donations, with sharing, whatever you can do to help. Send them messages. The links will be on there that you'll be able to get directly in contact with them. So thanks very much, Sinead and Gav, for asking me to record the podcast, the video with them. And thank you very much for listening. There will be some more podcasts coming soon. I'm thinking that this is the push I needed to start getting some more episodes out. So thank you very much. Goodbye.